Hello, let us study about electromagnetic radiation. In this tutorial, let us study about electromagnetic spectrum and the uses of the electromagnetic radiations. We have already studied that an alternating current produces a varying electric field due to which an varying magnetic field is created. Now this alternating magnetic field creates an electric field and it continues. Electric field and the magnetic field generated, they propagate in the direction of the electric fields and the magnetic fields. Now this is called as an electromagnetic wave. The electromagnetic waves, they are perpendicular to each other. These electromagnetic waves, they have a wide range of frequencies and wavelengths. Now you might see a figure below over here. Now in this figure you can see the wavelength and the frequency of the electromagnetic spectrum has been mentioned. You can see that the electromagnetic waves, they are arranged according to the frequency. You can see the frequency over here, it is 10 raised to 0 frequency, 10 raised to 4 and 10 raised to 8, 10 raised to 14, 10 raised to 22, 10 raised to 26. So these electromagnetic waves, they have been arranged according to the frequency or according to the wavelengths. The wavelength could be 10 raised to 8, 10 raised to 4, 10 raised to minus 2, 10 raised to minus 8, 10 raised to minus 14, 10 raised to minus 18. This orderly arrangement of electromagnetic waves according to their frequency and wavelength is called as an electromagnetic spectrum. The entire range of electromagnetic spectrum, you can see this is called, the range is from here to here. This entire range of electromagnetic spectrum is divided into different regions. You can see the divisions over here. It has been divided into different regions and each of these regions have been given a name to this. Now you can see that one region, the regions of these electromagnetic spectrum, they overlap into the adjoining regions. You can see that the radio waves is overlapping into the microwave region, whereas a part of microwave region is is overlapping into the radio wave region. Similarly, you can see a part of ultraviolet rays it goes into X-rays, whereas a part of cosmic rays has entered into gamma rays. The range of wavelength, it varies from 10 raised to minus 18 meters to 10 raised to 8 meters. Now there's one more figure over here. You can see that these electromagnetic radiations, they have got a long wavelength and low frequency, which actually will be a form of radio waves or a microwaves or infrared rays, whereas on the other end of the electromagnetic spectrum you can see the radiations with short wavelength and high frequency. The best examples are gamma rays, X-rays, ultraviolet rays. It is mentioned clearly over here that at the top of this you have got a low frequency and a long wavelength electromagnetic radiation, whereas at the bottom you have got a shorter wavelength. You can see it over here, a short wavelength and high frequency electromagnetic radiation. Now coming to the first one is radio waves. Now let us understand the source of these radio waves. The typical source is electronic circuits and cool objects, whereas in case of microwaves also it is electronic circuits and cool objects, whereas infrared rays it is electronic devices, warm objects and the sun. The visible light one, that is called visible light, which produces violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. The sources of these electromagnetic radiation, that is visible light radiation, is basically your electronic devices, that is LED devices, hot objects and sun. Whereas for ultraviolet rays, the sources could be gas discharge or very hot objects or sun. X-rays, by very fast moving electrons hitting a metal target, and the gamma rays is generated by radioactive nuclei, decaying of that radioactive nuclei, and the entire universe is a source of gamma rays. Now how do you detect these electromagnetic radiation? It could be by means of any electrical circuits over here. That is one way, whereas in case of ultraviolet, X-rays and gamma rays, they can be detected by a kind of film. In case visible light can be detected by means of a normal eye, or it could be a film or any other electronic devices. Now let us understand the uses of these radio waves. We also have to understand that the radio waves are emitted by stars and gases in space, whereas microwaves, they are basically used by astronomers to study about the structure of the nearby galaxies, whereas infrared, they are basically used as a night vision goggles to pick up the infrared light emitted by our skin and the objects with heat. Now it is basically used in mapping the dust between the stars. Now the visible light, again, it is detected by our eye. The fireflies, light bulbs and stars all emit visible light, whereas ultraviolet, they are emitted by sun and they are the reason for our skin tanning and skin burns. Any hot objects in space, they emit ultraviolet radiation as well. X-rays, a dentist basically uses X-rays to image our teeth, and you have seen at airport security also that they basically use an X-rays to see through our bag. Now all the hot gases in the universe, they emit X-rays, whereas gamma rays, they are used by doctors to see to see the inside of our body. The biggest gamma ray generator of all is the universe. Now these are some specific examples. Let us go to some common examples as to where they are actually used. Now radio waves, we have seen it. Radio waves of shorter wavelength, they are used in communication space like radar and also in TV broadcasting, whereas radio waves of longer wavelength, they are used in radio broadcasting. Radio waves, they are also used in police radios and wireless systems to send and receive signals. They are also used in mobiles, satellite communication and in GPS. Now coming to the next one, called as microwaves. They are also called as short wavelength radio waves. They are basically used in communication systems like radar, satellite communication and in microwave ovens. In microwave ovens, now it so happens that the wavelength of these microwaves, they are comparable to the distance between the water molecules. Now these water molecules, they absorb these electromagnetic microwaves, and due to that the kinetic energy of the water molecule increases and it becomes hot. The microwaves of longer wavelength, they are used in mobile phones. Next, infrared radiation. These infrared radiation, they are used for identification and determination of molecular structure. The second usage is they are used for long distance and night photography. We have seen it in earlier. They are also used in the detection of enemy concentration. They are also used to examine and detect forgery in the old paintings. They are used to diagnose superficial tumors, dislocation of bones and sprain treatment. They are also used to stimulate the blood circulation. They are used in TV remotes. They are also used as signals in war. Next one is visible light. Now visible light is basically used by the plants to prepare the food. The most important use of visible light is our eyes. Since they can detect the visible light, we are able to see such a beautiful world around us. Now coming to the next one, let us study about ultraviolet rays. Ultraviolet rays, they are basically used to check the purity of the gems and in photoelectric alarms. They are also used in the treatment of rickets, bone diseases and skin diseases. They are used by our body in the synthesis of vitamin D. They are used as efficient sterilizers. These ultraviolet rays, they excite fluorescence in many substances that has led to the development of fluorescent lamps. X-rays are used to locate the fractures in the bone. They are used to detect the presence of foreign bodies like pin, coin, bullets in human body. They are also used in the treatment of skin disease and cancer. They are used to detect cavities in the castings and cracks in the welding. They are used to locate flaws in the machine parts and transport vehicles. That is basically the technique is called as radiography. They are also used in the study of crystal structure. Gamma rays is basically used in cancer treatment. They are used in gamma ray microscopes and also in radiography. They are used to produce a photoelectric field. They are used in catalyst in manufacture of some chemicals. Okay, they can penetrate through metallic sheets and human body and can cause immense biological damage. So these are some of the uses of the electromagnetic radiations. Thank you.